Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is motivation for students. Welcome back, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about in order to get help, you need to be prepared. Here we have a special guest, Geo Derice, to help us talk about the topic for today. Geo, please introduce yourself by stating your name, your profession, and how long you've been doing your profession.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So it's Geo Derice. I'm an author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, the founder of a company called 2020 Living. And I've been doing that full time for 4 years, but I've been speaking for like a decade or so, right? And what I do is just inspire people to go and see what is possible, show them the vision, right? I believe that if you see clearly what it is that you want, then you'll do everything that you can to make sure that you get that thing. And so I'm super excited to be on here with you and to dive in on this topic, because I think it's especially an important one for students.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, guys, we get into our question for today. We have 3 questions that will be answered by Mr. Geo, and also I will pitch in on some of my thoughts on these questions. So the first question we have for today is, how did we meet and what was significant about our meeting?
Yeah, I remember like yesterday, honestly. So what I did was I had met this teacher, Ms. Valzone, when I was working at a different school. And we were working and it was doing a partnership, motivation, reading books, writing books with students and stuff like that. And eventually that school closed down and she went to a new school. And so I got this email, just out of random, I got an email and she shared with me that, Geo, I have this young man who has a YouTube channel, who wants to be a motivational speaker, who's doing it already. And I think it would be pretty cool if some way, some shape and form, you guys can connect with each other. And so I told her, I said, I'll do you one better. What if I come into the school and meet him, one-on-one versus like email introductions and stuff. And so I went ahead, came to the school, sat in your class, right? We hung out in there. You guys was doing some type of activity. I forgot what it was. But then afterwards we hung out and we talked a little bit about what are the things that she was doing. And ever since then, we've stayed in contact with each other. As you've evolved, you continue to grow, you continue to stay committed to what it is that you're doing. That's really how you and I, came to meet each other.
The second part of the question, what was the significance about that meeting?
Yeah, so to be honest, like I'm big on mentorship. I believe that when you have somebody who's been where you would like to be and they can share with you what it took to get there, that it sets you up for success. And so what was significant for me was because I know what it's like to not have that. And I also know what it's like to have it. And so whenever I'm put in a position where I can provide that for somebody else, that's important to me, right? To be able to go ahead and do that. And so when Ms. Valzone gave me this opportunity to do that, I had to take it. And what was also significant was knowing that somebody had a dream, something that they wanted, and I can do something to help provide support for them so that they can get that thing. That was why it was very important that I would go wake up in the morning, leave my house, get dressed, go through I didn't have metal detectors, but go through the security and do all the stuff that I had to do to go ahead and meet you. The significance was understanding that I saw in Esron Geo. And I saw Geo at that age, not having somebody who was mentoring him. But then also I didn't know what I wanted to do at 14. You did. So I give you kudos for having clarity. And we'll talk about that in the future question about you knew what you wanted, and that helped make it a lot easier.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that response. Question 2, why do we need to be prepared to get help?
Dang, man, I can't tell you how many times I talk about this. The reason why you need to be prepared is because the reality is that the people that you need the help from, the reason why they're successful is because of the way they use their time. And so when you're not prepared, you are wasting their time in the first place, right? Like I don't have time. That's the one thing that's unlimited is time. And so if you're unprepared, it shows that you want to use my time not wisely. You want to help me waste my time. And you've heard the thing that they say, time is money. I don't want you to waste my money. So I don't want you to waste my time. And so when you're able to be prepared, what you're telling the person is, this is going to be time well spent. This is going to be money well spent. This is worth the investment. And so if I believe that when you are prepared, it's the greatest sign of respect that you have for the person who's ultimately going to help you through mentorship, through giving advice, through quote unquote asking for the help. It's like anything, right? You ask for help, you got to have your papers in order. You have to have the stuff in order so that we can get this thing done quickly, so that we can go and get to the work that needs to be done.
And that's very important. And in our meeting, Miss Falzone, the teacher that connected both of us, she told me about Geo coming. So once I knew Geo was coming, I'm like, you know what? Let me think of some ideas. So I came up with 3 ideas. It was going to be an interview where I'm interviewing Geo, he's asking me questions. The second video would be where he's interviewing me, asking me questions. And then the third video was going to be a bullying video. And I had everything organized, the questions, all of that. So when he came to the school, I told him all 3 ideas, and I told him everything that I want to do with the video. I gave him the vision. So I came prepared, and then he was like, you know what, let's do it. The only thing that I didn't have was a location, but thank God we was able to figure that out. I didn't have a location where we were going to record, but through asking permission from my family, we were able to record from my basement. And during a conversation with Gio, he pointed out to me, he was like, you were prepared to get help. You didn't just come and like, you know what, Gio, I want to do a video. And then you're going to be looking at me like, what video you want to do? Like, you're the videographer, you're the YouTuber. You supposed to come with the ideas to me and tell me. And I came with 3 ideas. I'm pretty sure he was not expecting 3 ideas, but I came with 3 ideas, and we shot all 3 of those videos that same day. And all 3 of those videos is on this channel.
Yeah, and honestly, just to piggyback and add on that, it's like, I think that's what I'm saying when I say you got to be prepared, right? Like, think about this. Imagine if you, as a student, you received a video game system with no games, or you get a toy and ain't got no batteries with it. Like, what? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can't use it. We can't do nothing if I don't have those things in place. And so by you telling me the 3 videos, I was able to see clearly where we were going, because you showed me that already. And that's what we need when you want to ask for help. Sometimes we ask for help prematurely. And to be honest, by asking for the help without the preparation, you're not ready for it yet. Doesn't mean you're not going to get it. But what about putting yourself in position so that you can get the help that you want? And to be honest, I felt good doing that video. I'm married. Like, I was newly married or whatever at the time. And I'm telling my wife, yo, I'm going out. And she's like, where you going? I'm like, I'm going to go and shoot these videos. And I showed up, and you had a tripod, and we knew the videos we was going to talk about. Like, that was the stuff that made me feel like I was being considered, like my time was being respected, that even if you say, Gio, I can't pay you to do this, that I felt that because you didn't waste my time, you did pay me with respect in that regard.
And I appreciate the help so much from that. And something I learned from a young age was networking. And through my career doing YouTube these 6 years, I made sure I do that. Networking is important, but make sure that you come with some type of resume. If you want some help, come. Be prepared to help. And then my resume was my YouTube, because Miss Falzone sent him the channel. So he's seen I've been posting videos for 2 years. He's seen the type of videos I had on there. He probably watched a video. I don't know what video Gio ended up watching, but he saw that, okay, he's serious about what he's doing. Because you got to have some type of evidence of what you're doing in order for somebody to believe and follow the vision that you have. There need to be evidence of it.
So, you're right, man. You got to have receipts, right? You can't go in. You got to have your receipts. You can't be like, hey, can I get a refund for this? It's like, did you buy it from here? Like, I don't have proof of that. So I think that having the proof of like, yo, this guy's been doing it is super powerful, because it let me know that you believe that you belong there. And sometimes when I don't know somebody, I need to borrow their belief. And if they don't have any belief, like they ain't got no receipts, they don't have no videos on their YouTube channel, then how am I supposed to really believe you want to build a YouTube channel? How am I supposed to believe that you really want to be a motivational speaker and inspire the youth? and you're waiting for somebody else to build it for you. No, you start building it yourself. It may not be the prettiest thing in the world. It might not have the right YouTube art and all the stuff in place, but I'm like, we can fix something that you started, but I can't be the one who's helping you start, right? So I think that's the things that I want to make sure that those who are watching this video, they don't miss the fact that I'm the mentor, the help is supposed to get you to your next stop, but they're not supposed to get you to your first. You got to do that. You got to get on the bus first, and then people could jump on the bandwagon. You can't tell me, yo, Geo, get on the bus first. And I'm like, yo, who driving? You not on the bus yet? like you can't say, your job as a person who wants to help, you should say, let me show you what I've been doing versus, hey, I have an idea.
That's very, very much important. And we're going into our last question for today. What advice do you have for people networking and asking for help?
Have an idea of what it is that you want to do. It doesn't need to be 100%, but have an idea, right? Have a destination in mind. So just to go and give an example, you had specifics. If you decided years later to change your mind, that's not the problem. It's just that we had something to start with. So I would say have a destination in mind, have a goal, have a vision. It doesn't need to be, it can even be a blurry vision, but have one. Have a vision. And then make sure you have questions. Right? Like make sure you have questions. And here's the thing. Many people feel like, well, what questions should I ask? And I would argue there is no bad question. As you start asking questions repeatedly, what will happen is you will become better at asking better questions. I'm sure you've experienced this, right? So if you look at the questions you asked in year 1 or 2 of a YouTube channel compared to what questions you're asking in year 6 is different. Maybe in year 2, you would have said, Geo, I had 20 questions, and that would be too much. But now in year 6, you're like, yo, I know that people can't listen to 20 questions. So I only got 3 questions. But that happened over time. So in terms of networking, man, I think the biggest thing is understanding, why do you want help? Because why? Who you need help from, because not everyone can provide the same kind of help. And then when the help is in front of you, are you aware of what questions you have for that help so that that person feels that they're not wasting their time?
That's very important. And for me, my advice on it is don't be afraid. Please do not be afraid. So many people that I came in contact with and told them what I do as a profession, I was honestly scared. But I'm like, what is the worst they can say? I'd rather get a no from doing that than I'm over here like, bro, I could have done that. Like, what if they would have said yes? I could have got the opportunity. I'd rather get a no than do that.
Bro, that's big. Please, I don't want people to miss that. Mm-hmm. What you just shared is that there is actually something worse than a no. What's worse than a no is I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure. That's worse than the no. Because when you're not sure, not only you didn't ask that person, you probably don't get to the next person either because you're still stuck in the maybe. But the no helps you to identify. There's a saying that says no stands for next opportunity. That's what no stands for. If you get a no, it just means that wasn't the right person. But that doesn't mean that, but you're still moving in the right direction. But when you're not sure or you're scared, you let the fear can paralyze us. It makes us freeze. And I want us to have that green light to pursue our dreams, the green light to pursue what it is that we want to be in our lives, versus being stuck on this red light of maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. There is no answer key to this. So you ain't got to worry about getting the question wrong. What's wrong is you didn't ask the question. What's wrong is you didn't put yourself in a position to be rejected. It is better to be positioned to get a no than to never get it at all. And so that's what Esron did, man. Like, I could say, no, I don't want to do the interview. right? Like I have the right to say no, but you know what's beautiful is that you took the right, you positioned yourself to be able to hear yes or no. And sometimes before we can be afraid of what the answer is going to be, maybe we should just walk in the joy of being able to even ask it in the first place.
Yes, and that's very important. Another advice, if you were networking, any and everybody can be helped. I've went up to so many people that have nothing to do relating to YouTube, motivational speaking, or any concept like that, and then later I end up getting help. I met a photographer at my old school, the school that I met Geo at. I met him. Now I don't do photography. I don't take pictures and nothing like that. I'm YouTube and I'm a editor, all of that. So it kind of didn't align with what I was doing. But I got so much amazing advice from him with the hashtags and posts on social media, which I was using to promote my channel. So here, right there, somebody that I didn't think, because I didn't think, I was like, yeah, he probably can help me. But I was like, you know what? Let me try it. Let's see what happens. Because sometimes you just got to put yourself out there. So I just put myself out there and I end up getting help. And just try to go up to any and everybody can be helped. Not everybody, because sometimes it may not work out, but hey, I rather get a no than have that thought in my head on why, like, probably could have worked, probably could have worked. So just please put yourself out there, be able to have that confidence to ask the question, and like Gio said, no equals the next opportunity. I always say, and on the no part, I always say that more no's you get, the closer you are to get a yes.
That's so good,
Just
man.
keep on
That's so
working.
true. That's so true.
I just keep on working. And we are finished with all the questions for today. Thank you so much for Gio for coming in today, having an amazing conversation with us. To everybody out there, in order to get help, you need to be prepared. Come prepared, whether it's a resume and an idea, a vision, make sure you have something for you because you can't get help if you're not showing where you need help at. So thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. This is motivation for your students. Please continue to watch the video. We'll be back next week with another video. I'll see you guys later.